Welcome to the deep dive. So today we are getting into something that I think frustrates, well, every single dedicated language learner out there.
Oh, absolutely. It's that feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, that feeling of I know all the rules, I know the words, but you still sound like you're reading a perfectly translated text.
Right. You sound like a textbook, not a person.
Yeah.
It's that collision between academic correctness and just human reality.
Exactly.
So many learners master the grammar. They have this incredible vocabulary, but their speech still feels stiff,
Oh,
rigid.
mathematical.
Yeah. And that's usually because they're translating, word by word in their head.
Yeah.
And they miss the entire rhythm, the whole flow of English.
Well, that stiffness is exactly what we're going after today. We're going beyond the rule book.
Yeah.
Our mission is to really unpack the essential tricks that focus on the music of the language. We're talking stress, melody, interaction. This is your shortcut to sounding, well, instantly more fluent.
And you have to understand that English isn't just words. It's a performance of sounds.
Mm.
So I think the first performance note we have to hit is the absolute bedrock of natural rhythm,
Contractions.
contractions.
They're just non-negotiable for sounding fluent. If you're deliberately avoiding them, if you're saying I am instead of I'm or do not instead of don't.
You're signaling something. You're signaling this hyper-formality.
Right, and that's what makes you sound so stiff.
And it's so important to get why this is a fluency marker.
Mm-hmm.
English is what we call a stress-time language. So we naturally rush through the less important words to really hit the stressed syllables harder.
Yeah.
Contractions let us do that. They streamline the little function words, the verbs, the pronouns, so we can keep that rhythm going.
So when you say I'm going to the store,
Mm.
you're giving every single syllable equal weight. It messes with the tempo.
It does. It completely flattens it out.
But if you switch to I'm going to the store, that I'm gets smaller, going gets streamlined, and the emphasis lands right where it should on store. That rhythm is everything.
Exactly. And if you really listen to native speakers, you'll realize they're using these contractions almost constantly in conversation. It's not just do not becoming don't.
No, it's everything.
It's would have becomes would. He is becomes he's.
Okay, let's nail this down. Let's do some rapid-fire examples from the source material, because you really have to train your mouth and brain to just merge these sounds automatically.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'll give the formal one. I do not want to go to the meeting this morning.
Okay, so a native speaker says, I don't want to go to the meeting this morning. See how don't is just one beat, not two.
Yep. Okay, next one. We will definitely see you at the concert on Friday.
Right, so that becomes, we'll definitely see you at the concert on Friday. That little reduction to will is so important. Saying we will all the time sounds like you're reading a formal announcement.
It really does. Last one. She is not feeling well after that long flight.
You've got two options there, really. She's not feeling well or she isn't feeling well. The main thing is you're getting rid of that awkward gap between the words. You're just embracing the shorter sound.
Now, this whole idea of efficiency, it ties right into our second instant fix.
The power of simplicity.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so many learners, they want to show off all the words they know, so they default to the most complicated word they can find.
Which is a huge strategic mistake.
Yep.
It really is. In everyday conversation, native speakers use simple, direct words almost all the time.
Right.
When you use these unnecessarily fancy words, it just signals effort. It signals that you're probably translating, which is the opposite of sounding natural.
It builds a wall, doesn't it? If you say, I departed from my residence instead of I left my house.
The listener immediately knows you're not on the same page. You're using a different register.
It's a different language almost.
It really is. You have to save those formal, Latin-based words like fatigued instead of tired, or desire a beverage instead of want to drink.
Right.
Save those for your essays, for formal reports.
Yeah.
If you're just having coffee with a friend, use the simple words. They're clearer, they're faster, and you sound way more confident.
It just sounds so much better to say, I need to buy groceries than I need to purchase provisions.
Oh, yeah?
One is quick and natural. The other sounds like you're in a period drama or something.
Totally. So the takeaway is, if you have two words and one is simpler and shorter, just choose that one 90% of the time when you're speaking.
Okay, so let's pivot a little. We've talked about the words themselves. What about the stuff that connects them? This brings us to filler words.
The misunderstood fillers.
The ums, the ahums. I think we've all been taught that these are sloppy, right? That they're a sign of, poor language skills.
It's such a myth. Fillers are essential. They're these little acoustic signals we use when we need to think, and they are critical for keeping a conversation going without just dead silence.
So we're talking about what, well, so.
You know, I mean, like, all of those. They tell the listener, hang on, I heard you, my brain is working, I'm about to say something.
They're like bridges.
They are. Without them, you get these long, awkward silences that make everyone anxious.
Right.
So instead of that silence, you could just use a little phrase that buys you time. Something like, that's a tough one, or, ooh, good question. What do you think?
So the trick is using them naturally. I mean, if you actually need to pause and think, a quick, or, well, I think, sounds perfect.
Exactly. It's about strategic use, not overuse. If you're dropping 5 likes into every sentence because it's a nervous habit, that's different.
Got it. And that leads right into the other part of this conversational glue, doesn't it? The response words.
The verbal nods. These are what hold the entire interaction together.
And these get missed in language classes all the time because they're not really content, but they are so, so important.
They're vital. Without these little acknowledgments, the other person feels like they're just talking to a wall.
Yeah.
It's a feedback loop. If I'm telling you a long story about my crazy day, I need you to give me those little signals.
Like, yeah, uh-huh.
I see. Oh, really? Wow, I bet. Those little words, they validate what I'm saying and they encourage me to keep going.
It's a dance, not a monologue. You speak, I acknowledge, I respond, you acknowledge.
Precisely. If you tell me, I just hiked Mount Rainier and I just stare at you.
That's so awkward, so cold. But if I say, wow, that's incredible, how long did that take? That energy just keeps the whole thing alive.
Exactly. The wow validates it, and the question shows you're actually invested. It's the easiest way to make people enjoy talking to you.
Speaking of energy, we have to talk about intonation. This is the actual music of English. If you have the words but not the melody, you still sound
Like a robot.
yeah, totally robotic.
Intonation is everything. It's your pitch, your stress, your volume. A flat voice just sounds uninterested or, machine-generated. We use these rising and falling tones to show emotion, mood, and meaning.
So the basic rules we all learn are like, yes, no questions go up the end. Are you coming to the party?
Right, and information questions usually fall, where are you going?
But it's more than that, isn't it?
Oh, it gets so much more interesting. Intonation can change the entire meaning. A tiny shift in pitch can make a statement sarcastic. Think about the word great.
Okay.
If I say it flatly, great, it's neutral. But if I say it with a high, sharp fall, oh, great, it's pure sarcasm.
So what's the practical tip here? Because memorizing arrow charts seems not helpful.
Don't memorize charts. Treat it like singing. We're just copying a sound. When you're listening to something, pause it, and then try to copy the exact sound, the rhythm, the volume, the pitch. You're training your mouth to learn the melody.
That's a great way to think about it.
And while you're listening, pay close attention to how native speakers blur words together. We don't say going to.
We say gonna.
We say gonna. We don't say want to, we say wanna. If you pronounce every single word perfectly and distinctly, you're actually going to sound more unnatural.
So contractions and these sound reductions, they're like two sides of the same coin.
The fluency coin, exactly.
Okay, let's move up a level now. Let's talk about truly advanced fluency, which is mastering common phrases and just keeping a conversation going.
Yes. Learning these little stock phrases is like getting a massive upgrade for your social skills.
They're like conversational shortcuts, right?
Yeah.
They save you from having to build a perfect sentence for a common situation.
They do. You can just tap into the way native speakers handle transitions in small talk.
So instead of the super formal, I must leave now, which is a mouthful.
It just sounds weird.
Yeah, you just use the phrase, I've got to go.
Or, I should get going. It's simple. It works.
The sources give us some real gold here. Let's talk about kind of or sort of.
So useful. This isn't just about saying somewhat. It's about hedging or showing mild agreement or just being polite.
Right, so if someone asks, are you upset? Saying, I am somewhat upset is way too formal.
Yeah. But kind of, or kinda, just instantly communicates that mild, nuanced feeling, and it keeps the tone really light.
What about, I guess so?
Another great one. It doesn't really mean you're guessing. It shows you're, tentatively agreeing or you're reluctant. Was the movie good?
Yeah, I guess so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's efficient and it's socially understood.
And we can't forget, by the way.
The ultimate pivot.
Yeah. It lets you change the topic without any awkwardness. I'm looking forward to the meeting. By the way, did you see that email I sent?
Mastering these little phrases and the difference between being able to answer a question and being able to actually drive a conversation.
Which brings us to what I think is the biggest hurdle for intermediate learners.
Keeping it alive.
Yes. A lot of learners can give a perfect answer, but then the conversation just hits a wall. It dies.
You have to think of it like a tennis game. The goal is to never let the ball drop.
Okay, so how do you do that?
After you answer, you have to do two things immediately. Add a little extra detail and then ask a relevant question back.
So if someone asks, what did you do last weekend? Don't just say, I went to the museum.
No, that's a dead end.
You'd say, I went to the new art museum. The sculpture exhibit was incredible. Have you been there yet?
Perfect. You gave details, you showed you were engaged, and you passed the ball right back to them.
And it's also about asking those follow-up questions to show you're curious.
Oh, absolutely. If someone says they went to Portugal, don't just say, that's nice. Ask them, what was your favorite meal, or did you learn any Portuguese? It just deepens the connection.
Okay, so let's add one last layer of personality here. Idioms and slang.
The fun stuff,
Yeah.
but also the risky stuff.
Yeah, they add a lot of color, but if you get them wrong.
You can sound really strange. They're like spices. Little sprinkles, great. Too much just ruins the whole thing.
So the key is to use them when the situation is really clear. Like if something is super easy, you can naturally say.
It's a piece of cake.
Or if a friend is studying for a big test, you can say.
Time to hit the books.
Yeah.
These are common enough that they won't sound forced.
What about hang in there? I like that one.
Great for encouragement. It just means don't give up or keep trying.
So the rule is what? If you're not 100% sure, just don't use it.
Yeah, stick to the simple, direct language we talked about earlier.
Mm.
It's always better to sound simple and correct than colorful and weird.
And of course, all of this is kind of pointless if your body and your tone don't match your words.
Right. Communication is so much more than just auditory. It's visual. Your expression, your gestures, they have to line up with what you're saying.
So if you say, I'm really happy about that, but your face is totally blank and your voice is flat.
The listener is going to believe your tone, not your words, every time.
Confidence is shown through eye contact, through posture. Those nonverbal cues tell the other person you're comfortable.
Which brings us to what might be the most important part of this whole deep dive, the mindset shift.
Embracing imperfection.
Exactly. Learners panic when there's a pause. They think silence is failure.
But real speech is full of pauses. Native speakers pause all the time to think.
All the time. The fear of silence or the fear of making a mistake, that's what stops people from practicing. And lack of practice is the only thing that really stops fluency.
You have to get it into your head that making mistakes isn't a sign you're bad at this. It's a sign that you're learning, that you're trying.
Yes. And when you do stumble over a word or use the wrong tense, please don't stop the whole conversation to apologize over and over.
That makes it so much more awkward for everyone.
Just use a quick fix, like, sorry, I mean, and then correct yourself and move on. Trust that the other person is focused on your meaning, not your grammar.
Communication is about understanding, not perfection.
The quest for perfection is the enemy of fluency.
That reframing is so critical. So, okay, for everyone listening right now, what are the 4 most actionable things they can do starting today?
Okay, first, listen to English every day, but listen actively. Pay attention to the rhythm, the intonation, where people use contractions and say gonna or wanna. You're listening for the music, not just the words.
Second, speak out loud every single day, even if it's just to yourself. Narrate what you're doing, read a book out loud. Your mouth and your brain need that physical practice to work together.
Third, find a conversation partner or a group. But go into it with the goal of communication, not correction. Focus on that tennis game, keeping the flow going, asking questions.
And fourth, use your phone. Record yourself speaking and then listen back. It's like a mirror for your voice. You'll notice if you sounded flat or if you forgot to use contractions. Self-correction is so powerful.
And just be patient with yourself. Sounding natural doesn't happen in a day, but if you start doing these things, you will see real results and fast. Every little step towards sounding more human is a huge win.
So this deep dive has really been the roadmap for moving past the textbook, hasn't it?
I think so.
We've covered why you need fillers, why simple words are better, how to find the melody of the language, and how to get that confidence boost from using the right phrases.
And remember, the most natural sounding English comes from putting communication first, not correctness. Just embrace the rhythm, trust your voice, and let go of that fear of being imperfect.
Your journey to sounding natural is always ongoing. Keep practicing the flow, keep embracing the mistakes, and above all, keep being yourself. Your unique voice is valuable, and the world absolutely needs to hear what you have to say.